I know you're a monster. I know you're a monster.
Meh, 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 meh. Meh, 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 meh. Meh, 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 meh. Meh,
We're live.
meh. Okay, sweet. We're live. All right, cool. Those two nerds, episode 76. Welcome, everybody. I am Vera Coach,
And I am Nictus.
and we are
We're
those two nerds.
we're those two nerds. Thank you, all you fellow nerdidians. Nerdidians. We don't have a name for our groupies yet. Let's call them nerdites.
I mean, we can do whatever we want, you know? It's our
I,
world. They're just living in it.
I guess we could just call them nerds.
That's, that's, I mean, that's true too.
That
Um,
seems that seems sort of easy though.
Oh, for sure. But we're gonna jump straight into it. I know this is a little bit of an unusual time. We don't normally do this. Blame
2
me.
hours early.
Yeah, and
No,
it's
I
no,
don't. I
it's
don't
not a,
blame you. I blame Dr. Bias.
it's not a 3 hour spectacular. Um,
not today.
Oh my gosh. So we're gonna jump into it. This weekend on Epic Games Store, Battlefront 2
Free,
is free. So
free.
if you haven't picked it up, I highly suggest. I know EA and I know the memes that come with Battlefront 2, but I've seen some people play it, just picked up the game for the weekend, and people are loving it.
It's a
They're having a
great
lot of fun.
game. It was marred by a shady release and terrible microtransactions. It's a great game. I probably have, no lie, in Battlefront 2, I probably have close to 100, maybe 150 hours in Battlefront 2. I don't play it like every day. What I do is I'll log on, I'll play one or two matches, and I turn it off. That's it. And I've done
You have
that since the game come
150
out.
hours?
Yep.
Oh my god, I didn't know
I
that.
have not bought like any skins. I haven't even used any of my currency stuff. Like it's a lot of fun, but it's not a game I could sit and just grind for hours on end. That would make me want to just end it all.
Yeah.
But it is fun and
Yeah.
it's free. So if you're like, man, I was kind of on the fence, but I don't like microtransactions. Look at it this way: get the game for free. Then, if for whatever reason you decide that you're like, man, this game's kind of for me, you could take the money that you would have normally spent on the game that you were on the fence about buying and microtransaction it up. So that way it balances out.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you brought up EA though and Star Wars. Their license is expiring.
Oh
So
yeah. Open world game coming out.
I think it's Ubisoft, right?
Yeah, it's Ubisoft. And they don't, like I said, it's supposed to be an open world MMORPG, and we all know how open world MMORPGs go.
No. It's not an MMORPG. They said open
Just an
world
RPG.
RPG.
Okay.
We don't need another MMO. I mean, we had Star Wars Galaxies, we had the Old Republic, which is actually still going on. And if they went the MMO route, I wouldn't even be interested in the game. Like I'm so MMO burnt out. Like I need something different. The only MMO I can even occasionally pick up and play now is honestly it's Neverwinter, and that's because it feels more like an arcade game than an MMO. But yeah, Ubisoft. You say what you want. They say that they have a lot of the same kind of practices like EA with all the microtransactions, but they give you and deliver you a full game. They're like, here's the game,
Yeah.
and you can play it from start to finish. And I know that they have gold editions and super deluxe, mega gold, diamond, platinum
Every
editions, and
game does though
every
nowadays.
game does now. And most of it's cosmetic stuff. It's not stuff that you even care about.
World of Warcraft has been doing collector's editions, that type of thing. It's no different than a prestige edition in Call of Duty. It's the $100 price tag for the game. Halo 3 did it, Halo 2, all of those. So I'm not really, I could care less about that. And I will say one thing. So this past week, I've gotten into Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six Siege is owned by Ubisoft. It goes through Ubisoft Connect, and it has the battle eye. It has all this nice anti-cheat. But I will say something about the transaction. They give you a good bang for your buck.
Yes.
When it comes to skins and all that stuff, or I love the bundles they have. So like in Siege, they have these like year 1 through 4 operators, which is like, I think in total it's 36 operators total you get for $40. You have all the 1 through 4, and you're only missing out on maybe I think 9 operators from each like attacking and defensive side total, which you can unlock. But like I said, it's super nice, and the cosmetics, they offer you a full game with some decent looking cosmetics. I can't be mad at Ubisoft. And EA, I think EA just
EA sees dollar
they went
signs.
too far.
It's like, okay, so they're going to give you, and they own a lot of the licensing rights to almost all of the major sports franchises now. And sometimes they've delivered a good game. Sometimes I feel like it's a cut and paste of last year's game with even more microtransactions. And I've always been of the opinion, especially with sports games, that I feel that you could completely make your fan base less rageful, because you got those diehard Madden guys, you got those diehard NBA 2K fans that buy every edition of the game, and those Madden fans that buy every edition of the game, and
Sure.
they're going to continue to buy those when they come out. Are they a little resentful every year that they have to drop $100+ on the game because they're going to put the time in to play it? Yeah, a little bit. I feel that they could learn a lot from the subscription side of like MMOs. So put the game out. it has no cost. Put it out for free. Collect your subs off of it. Update
Yep.
it, and then when a new
Yep.
expansion comes out or the new roster of teams comes out, it's like, all right, well, if you want the updated roster, it's going to be this much money. It would be no different than when World of Warcraft puts out a Shadowlands expansion or whatever, and they charge people $30-$40 for the expansion when it comes out. But
Yeah.
get them to pay the $9 or $10 a month. You're gonna get the fans that are gonna come in and give you $10 or $20 that normally
sure.
may not have even paid to play the game originally. So you're gonna
Yeah.
get them for a month or two, but you're gonna get your diehards that play it. They don't mind. They don't care. They just want to play the game.
So with that being said, like I have a little stat on my phone here. That was weird. Okay, hang on. There we go. So like this is kind of, it was actually funny because I took a note of it the other day when I was kind of sitting down researching. I was on PC Gamer or whatever.
Mhm.
The difference in people's opinions on games that constantly do updates and constantly, so they have one game, this is their baby, this is their pride and joy. They constantly update it and they just keep making the game better. Perfect example, CS:GO.
Yeah.
CS:GO has been around for over 10 plus years, and they just keep adding on to the game. They keep making the game better. They rework maps. They do this, and that. Now let's take a game like Call of Duty. Call of Duty brings you a new game every year. You know,
Yeah.
they've been developing this bitch for like 2-3 years. It's always a different company, Treyarch, Infinity War, all this stuff. Look at the difference in the communities. Every year you keep buying Call of Duty. It's the same fucking game. And then you're disappointed when you give a team 1 year to fix every single problem in the game, everything you don't like about the game, and then you're disappointed. And then you're like, guys, hear me out. The next Call of Duty, it's gonna be better.
It's gonna be even better.
It's gonna destroy this game. This game's trash.
And I get it. I get yearly releases. I get releases every 2 years. But I think that a lot could be said about companies that put out MMOs because they're not really doing anything different. They're adding to the thing that already exists, either through a new hub or a new zone or a new whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that sports games could benefit from this the most. So instead of just saying, oh, well, I have to buy Madden 21 or I have to buy Madden 22 when it comes out, you can just be like, I subscribe to Madden Online and I get the updated rosters when they come out. So if they make a trade halfway through the season, I get it. You know, like if someone gets injured, it updates like real time. I mean, I think that would be a better thing than giving you this game and then trying to get you to buy all these damn loot boxes for
You
whatever.
wanna know what would make most companies millions? Is fucking free to play.
Yeah.
Free to play. Make Madden free to play. Because you have those people that are like me or, you know, like my brother. And so, like, I mean, my brother, diehard sports fan, loves sports.
Loves Madden.
But, you know, with his work schedule and stuff, he plays maybe like a game of Madden once in a while.
Yeah.
And this guy loves it. And like
Loves
for
it.
me,
He gets
I wouldn't
excited
pay-
and hyped every time they're about to release a new Madden.
yeah, I wouldn't pay for a Madden game.
No,
Like
I
I
don't
wouldn't
play
go
it
out of my
enough.
way to go pay. I wouldn't pay for a subscription. But if they had a free to play thing and my brother's like, hey, let's, instead of me dropping $60 on the Madden game that I'm going to play 2 times and then throw that shit in the garbage, like I'd much rather just do it that way. And like I said, with the whole point
I
of
think
like,
free to play has a bad connotation to it because free to play used to be terrible. Free to play is less terrible now because they've realized that they can microtransaction you to death. There's a lot of games I think that have the free to play model that would do well to learn from other companies which have
Yep.
like, we'll give you the base game. You get the base game, you can do all the base stuff in it, but if you want us to basically take away all the ads and take away the bullshit, you got to give us money every month. It costs
Yeah.
money to run these games, and I think people don't realize that. It
So-
costs money to develop it and iron out bugs. I mean, you're a programmer, you know, like you put something out and you're like, "Yay, this works great," and then it doesn't, and then you're like, "Shit," you know. So you got to fix it. So it
Yeah.
happens. It happens.
yeah, and like I said with CS:GO and you know Fortnite with the skins, people buy the shit out of skins because you know what? They can play this whole game. Hear me out. You can play the whole game
For free.
and never
Never. It
touch
doesn't cost a penny.
Yeah, you could be one of those people that are
Your
like, I
sister
don't believe
plays.
in.
She doesn't.
Yeah,
She doesn't pay any money for the game.
but
She has a
that's what I'm
blast.
saying.
She's probably put in, I don't know, probably 100, 200 hours on the game and has a blast. Hasn't paid
Yeah.
a dollar.
So that's, I mean, that's my thing. But then you see that sweet skin, or you see that like esports skin. You're like, man, I want to root on my team. It's no different than you going out buying a Browns jersey, a Buckeye jersey, or something like that. Like, you're supporting your team. And like I said, it cracks me up. And like I'm known for this. Like, if you want to get me to pay your game, have some sweet ass skins. And I'm like, honey, where's the credit card?
Where's the credit card? Is our PayPal account still the same? I'm just asking because security.
Yeah. But like, so like kind of like wrapping things up on this certain topic, CS:GO and like, games like Rainbow Six Siege and all these games, pretty much they're going to take this game and build off of it. I've noticed I've had more fun in those games because when they do drop a patch, like a big one, shit's about to go down. It's like you're about to get a kind of like a fresh new game, even though you've been playing the same game for
It's the same game.
3,000 plus hours. You're like, oh
It's
my
the
god,
same game.
well,
They
it's
might add a new
game
map,
changer.
and you're like, "Oh my god, brand new game!" They add the way that a certain gun recoils, or they add a new
Yeah.
gun to the game that's kind of like the combination of two other guns. So,
Yeah.
but
Or
like
or
it's
the
it's the
nerfs.
same.
Yeah.
It's the same game. It's the same game.
So
And
so
Pokemon's been doing this for years. And that's
oh
why
yeah.
a lot of people bashed on Sword Shield. They said they cut and paste basically from the 3DS version. And I'm sorry, I thought Sword Shield was fun. I had a lot of time put in it.
I had a lot of fun with that game. I really did.
I thought it was really good. You actually finished that one, didn't you? Didn't you beat the story?
Yep.
That's the first mainline Pokemon game I've beat since probably XY, maybe before that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have them all. I just, but whatever. Speaking of that, it's a big year for Nintendo, right? Like, we actually have news this week, which is kind of exciting. We haven't had any like
Yeah.
news or things to talk about. There's a lot of anniversaries going on this year for the Nintendo company. Donkey Kong gonna turn 40 this year. Donkey Kong, that's dope, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's an
40?
old ass game.
That's an old ass game. Let's see. Pokemon turns 25. Pokemon's planning a whole bunch of like 25th anniversary events for the trading card game, video games. They've got some Hush Hush stuff. Pokemon Snap is
Yeah.
coming out, which I'm really excited about that game.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Love that game. I loved this N64 game so much. It was one of the only games on the N64 I actually played, and I liked it a lot.
I miss Coliseum.
Coliseum was
Coliseum
sweet
is
too.
such a good
Then what else is coming out? Metroid. Metroid's celebrating its 35th anniversary this year, and so is Zelda. So
Nice.
I'm wondering if Nintendo's got some stuff planned for Zelda, since it's probably one of their, well, it might be their most popular franchise next to maybe Mario and Pokemon. But I know that it's got a bunch of diehard fans. And what about you? Would you like to see them do some anniversary type stuff? Because I mean, they went all out for Mario, and not all of it hit the mark. But overall, I feel like it was pretty cool. Some of the things that they did.
So I think right now, like, you're probably gonna maybe see some amiibos, maybe
They
some kind of
did
collector.
just reissue the champion amiibos for the new Hyrule Warriors game, but
It's kind of like one of those things where like Pokemon, obviously in the trading card sector of it, you're gonna probably get some promos
yep.
and cool stuff that you can't get any other
Yep.
time. And those are gonna be one of those things where, especially with the overhypeness of Pokemon cards right now, everybody's going to be buying them off the shelves thinking that, 50 years down the road, these things are going to be worth a gold mine.
We're gonna go back to the Pokemon card topic here in a second, but go on.
And then, you have Zelda, which, like I said, if they give cool collectible items out for these 25th anniversaries, I'm okay with it. Because I don't think it's going to be something where, I mean, make it cool. This is a big event. I mean, multiple years. Zelda is still one of the number one like trending games when it comes to
Yeah.
Nintendo. Like with Breath of the Wild, people will pick up Switches just to play that game and never touch their Switch again.
Well, and then with the hype around the new Hyrule Warriors, people are actually stating that it's not just a good Dynasty Warrior style game. They're saying it's an actual good Zelda game. It leaves out a lot of the puzzle elements and stuff. There's no dungeons and things. It's all like
Yeah.
smashing buttons. But the story, they said, is really good. It's a very satisfying prequel to Breath of the Wild because people want more. People want more Breath of the Wild. They've said that. They've already announced that they are doing a sequel to Breath of the Wild, which some
Great
people are
choice.
like,
Great choice.
is it coming out this year? And this is kind of odd because they have never really done like traditional sequels. The
Yeah.
closest thing to a traditional sequel, I would say, is Ocarina of Time, and then Majora's Mask. I would say that that is like the first traditional sequel. Usually they kind of branch out and kind of go a different way and make the game a little different for
Mhm.
every iteration of Zelda. So it'll be interesting to see what Breath of the Wild does, if it's an actual true like sequel, if it's an alternate timeline, what's going on with it. The Zelda timeline, by the way, is confusing as shit. If you've never tried to keep up with it, it's hard. Like I don't even know what's going on, and I'm a huge Zelda fan. I kind of have an idea, but
Yeah.
you would think that Zelda 1's like the first game, right? The one on NES. It's not. Skyward Sword is. Why? I don't know. It just is.
Because I got
So
to.
I would like to see what they did similar to the Mario thing, where they put up the 35th anniversary, the Mario All Stars with all the 3D games that came out on the Switch. I'd like to see them do something similar for that for Zelda. They could even put it in 2 editions, and you know what? Dumb people like me will give you $60 per edition. Why? Because we already own them all, but we want to play them on our Switch. So
Exactly.
I think that would be cool because for Mario, they ended up announcing the Mario Kart Live circuit with the remote control cars. They put out the Game and Watch Mario, which is actually it's cool, but I don't know that it's worth $50, but it's cool. The Mario 3D All Stars, Animal Crossing is having a crossover event with it in March at the end of the 35th. The Mario 35th Anniversary Edition game came out on the Switch, which is leaving in March. So if you haven't played that
Yeah.
yet, it's free to download. It's a lot of fun. So they announced a bunch of cool stuff and other stuff that probably other gamers and stuff didn't even hear about. There were some tie-ins with clothing and merchandise and cereals and things like that. But you got Zelda. Like this thing is unstoppable. Like you said, it sells consoles.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, between buying a Switch, you pretty much buy a Switch right now probably for 3 to 4 games max. Be it honest, you have Zelda, you have
Awesome.
Mario Maker,
Which is an awesome game.
awesome game, and then you have oh my god, Animal Crossing,
Animal Crossing's huge.
and then Pokemon Sword and Shield. Those
Sword and
four
Shield.
games, those 4 games, people will solely buy a Switch for just to play those and never touch the Switch again.
I think you are leaving out a couple that are almost essentials. I think that you missed out on Mario Kart 8. I know
Okay,
that there's
you know
there's a
you know what I
ton of
mean.
people that bought that for Mario Kart 8, and I think you're also missing Mario Odyssey. It's like one of the highest rated Mario games ever.
Well, I was gonna say,
Mario
a
by himself sells
Mario,
consoles too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you go see those staple games of, and that's gonna sell your console. There's people like you said, they will buy a console just to play Mario Kart.
Yeah.
And you don't like Mario Kart's not one of those games where like, man, I'm grinding this shit all day long. It's
Um,
it's great.
I think Splatoon 2 is a great game, Frustration Core, you know that, but
I don't think
console
it's a staple.
seller, no, but is it a if I had to pick 10 games to pick up on the Switch, Splatoon 2 would be in my list. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think with Splatoon 2, so it's a great game, but the visual effect of the game without playing it will turn you off. It
Yeah.
won't. It doesn't draw you in.
It looks kind of weird and it does, but the gameplay is amazing.
Yeah, and like I said, I would have never bought Splatoon 2 if it wasn't for Nictus. He was like, "Dude, you got to try this game."
Which,
And I
speaking of,
played
we
it.
should really turn that on again and play some more. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I think we spent the whole day, like we
Yeah.
spent a whole day just leveling up our guys so we could
Yeah.
go play ranked
Yep, so we could play ranked
matches.
ranked duos and stuff. It was, or ranked team or whatever. It was
Yeah,
fun.
so-
It's still fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's a fun game. No, I think Splatoon 2 is a great game. I just don't see it as a staple. It's going to turn you off in the eyes of many because everybody's going to be like, "Oh, you're sitting there painting the fucking ground." Like my 3-year-old can do that.
Hold on, I have offended Ashley by dissing Splatoon. I'm not dissing Splatoon. I own Splatoon 2. I'm an advocate
own
of
it too.
Splatoon 2. I just
Yeah.
don't think that it's a console seller. Like when they announced Splatoon 2, when they announced the Switch, I wasn't like, oh man, I'm gonna get the Switch so I can play Splatoon.
Oh, we forgot
I-
one game.
I bought the Switch to play Zelda. End of story. That's what I
Yeah.
bought it for.
We forgot one game, and that was Smash Bros.
Smash. I actually feel really, really bad for myself. That game is such a monster of a game.
Yeah. But so it, like I said, if I held up a picture of the main character from Splatoon, and I held up fucking Mario, and I said, you know, I'm gonna hold these games. You pick whichever character you want, and you'll get that game. And then be like, I don't even know who the like. I'm picking Mario.
Who is that little weird looking ink person? I want
Yeah,
this other one. But Splatoon, like I said, it's a top 10 reasons to own a Switch game without a doubt.
it's a game that if you actually dove in and played it, you would
It's
actually have fun.
it's fun. It's
It's a cheesy
it's
fun game.
everything that Nintendo wants in a game. It encourages multiplayer. It's bright. It's vivid. The gameplay is really solid. It's fun. The controls are easy to pick up on, but there's a lot of depth to the game too. But you don't have to be amazing at the game to sit and enjoy the game and have a good time playing it. Like I'm terrible at shooting games, but you're pretty good at them. So like you excelled at shooting people, and I was like, I'm still having a good time even though I'm terrible at that.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here
So
painting the ground. I'll make sure nobody gets to you. But yeah, I mean, like I said, that's a great game as a whole.
it would be hard for me to pick like the top 10 on the Switch for me personally.
I think there's just too many good games.
I couldn't
they're
actually
solid
rank. I
games.
couldn't rank them in numeric order. I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I could easily pick 10 games. I could easily pick 20 games that are worth
for
owning a
sure,
Switch for. But
for sure.
Splatoon definitely would be in the top 10. I honestly would say that Splatoon would probably be in the top 5 for me. Just once you get past a couple of the other games like Zelda and Mario, I would say Splatoon is probably a top 5 game.
Top 5. Wow. Okay. I mean, I like it.
I
I
mean,
mean, I respect it.
hours put in on it, man. I've put a lot of hours on Splatoon too.
That's true.
Oh,
So kind of switching gears about profitable companies and things. Local man, actually, two stories, all regarding the same thing. Everybody, brace yourself. You might need to sit down for this one. Bitcoin.
yeah.
So Bitcoin hit an all-time high, 44,000-ish dollars. And that's pretty good. If you own Bitcoin, like if you're one of those people that bought in when it was like $1, hell, even $100, you're probably like, damn, I'm rich. Um, so speaking of rich people that will never see their profits, guy had $50 million worth of Bitcoin on a hard drive. And he threw it away because he threw it away when it was worth pennies. He is now on a quest to find it. And if anybody finds it, he will give them a portion of the money.
I'd give them half.
Yeah. Another funny scenario. Guy gets an account. He inherited tons and tons of Bitcoin from a guy that was mining it like fucking crazy when it was like pennies worth. Over $250 million. Password protected. He gets 10 tries, and if after the 10 tries, it automatically locks and doesn't give him his money. He's used 8. He has 2 tries left, and he doesn't know the password.
And this, kids, is why I use a password thing that I actually use from Norton, right? So
That's oh,
it's protected from like Face ID, and you can use like your thumbprint or whatever to unlock it. And it's great because everything has a password now. Everything.
yeah.
Like if I want to go to Wendy's, I have to put a password to get in the door. Like it's gotten to the point now where it's just that way, and then they're like, don't use the same password for everything. I'm like, well, then how the fuck am I supposed to remember what my passwords are for everything? I can't
Yeah.
remember all that. Now, I have seen some people come up with some really clever ways to get around this. So a lot of times what they'll do is they'll do something like, all right, so I want the same base password. We'll just use hypothetically. My password is password. Okay. Mine's not, but we'll just say that your password is password. So they'll be like, all right, so my password to Donatos is password Donatos. That way, I just know what it is. My password for
That's a good one.
World of Warcraft is password Warcraft. That way, I just know what the password is and what it goes to. But it's different. Everyone's different. So,
Yeah.
but then, like, what if you use an abbreviation? You can't remember if you used an abbreviation for something or like it's. I can't remember all that shit. So Norton LifeLock, it's one of their things, and I highly recommend it. It's saved in the cloud, but it's like it's like super encrypted and. Nothing's impenetrable. Just remember that. Like, if someone wants to get into your shit, they're going to get into your shit. So
some other good ones are LastPass.
yeah.
So LastPass will actually store it and save passwords and stuff like that. But you can actually choose an encrypted part of it to put your password in as this like encrypted message, and it will. And most software will unencrypt it and put your password in correctly, as if it was you typed in your regular password. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, no, I'd probably throw up to myself hearing about Bitcoin, and you have all that money just sitting there
To me,
waiting.
it's like the guy that grew up like my dad, and he grew up in the '60s, and he had baseball cards, and he had some comic books and stuff. Not like a lot. He wasn't an avid collector of comics, but he's like, yeah, I had some Richie Riches and some Archie comics and a couple Spider-Mans and but baseball cards, like they just had him. He's like, oh yeah, I remember putting Mickey Mantle in my tire spokes on my bike to make that cool clicky noise. And I'm like, oh, that just makes me want to vomit a little bit because that one Mickey Mantle card sold on, I think it was eBay for like $5.2 million. I want to say it was the 1952 Mickey Mantle card. $5.2 million.
Yeah.
Like that would make me
Yeah.
vomit.
Well,
It's the same thing. It's the same kind of thing.
eBay broke down today on because of a Magic card,
I know. I saw.
Black Lotus,
Yep.
10 PSA
A
Black Lotus.
PSA 10 Black Lotus signed by the artist Christopher Rush. The auction has not gone exactly live yet. They've done previews of the auction so far. Last year, a PSA 10 Black Lotus without Christopher Rush's signature sold for $250,000. They're expecting this one to break $500,000 easy.
Oh, easily.
I don't know. I don't know how like big of an artist Christopher Rush is. So any of our viewers out there who are like, Christopher Rush is the best artist in the history of art, and I'm like, oh, okay. I know that
I believe you.
he has done some fantasy art pieces. Obviously, he's known for Magic.
Yeah.
I find it curious that the card could still be considered a PSA 10 with a signature on it. I would think that would degrade the value, honestly.
It may be a PSA 10. It may not be a signature on it. Is
No,
it on the card?
it's on the card. I'm pretty sure. It might actually be on the case, but
If it's on the case,
I
then
feel
yeah.
like it's on the card. But regardless, like that's still a piece of Magic history. So you know that this thing is going to be hyped. And you're right, eBay did shut down from it. So
you know what might shut down and break the internet? I got 2 movies coming out. Not me personally, but we have 2 movies coming out.
Is your porn tape coming out finally?
Finally, man, I'm breaking the internet. Kim Kardashian style.
It's the one night in Blacklick video.
Yeah. So good news for all you Godzilla fans out there. They're actually moving up the release of Godzilla versus King Kong.
Yeah, I heard March.
HBO announced it. It's like a month, I think. I think they're doing like a month or 2 ahead of schedule.
Yeah, it was supposed to come out this summer.
They released a screenshot of basically King Kong and Godzilla about to go at it, like they're charging it at each other, and then like it like cuts off.
You know that I am the
biggest fucking Godzilla.
I love Godzilla. Every time anyone talks about Godzilla, I get an erection. It just is the way that it is. Whether it's a nerd boner or whatever. The fact that I don't own any actual Godzilla merchandise makes me very ashamed of myself to consider myself a Godzilla fan, but I do. And the direction that the new movies have taken, I've really enjoyed them. The King Kong movie has been really good. Kong Skull Island. So
I will say the past Godzilla movie was one of my favorites of the Godzilla movies. I actually could tolerate it.
Which one?
The one where they unleashed that 4-headed like fucking demon dragon.
Oh,
or whatever.
the 3-headed Ghidorah, King Ghidorah.
Yeah.
It was such good eye candy though, right? I went to the movie theater and saw that by myself. This was like right before like the world shut down. I think I saw it in January, February. I don't remember when I saw it.
Yeah.
But I saw that, and I saw Dark Phoenix like in the same like 24-hour period. And no one was in the theater for Godzilla. I was so just disappointed. I was like, I can't be the only one that wants to watch this movie. It was an experience. It was something. I very much enjoyed it. It was good. It was a spectacle. I like when they did the 2014 version of Godzilla, I thought that it was a little slow. That was my only gripe with it. But then I had to remember that watching Godzilla movies growing up, a lot of times it's like an hour of nothing happening. and then the guy in the rubber suit shows up to fight another guy in a rubber suit with really bad explosions. So this at least was really good to look at. So yeah, I love Godzilla. Huge Godzilla fan.
So like I said, I need to make a list and make a video of it, like movies I'd get COVID for,
Yeah,
like going to the theaters to see. And
Godzilla.
I'm so
I would go to
I'm
Godzilla.
so excited for this movie though. But it's not Godzilla. And I saw some screenshots of it the other day. Motherfucking Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, they did show some screenshots from that.
And I'm like, this movie.
The Sub-Zero screens especially looked really good.
I think, in my opinion, Mortal Kombat, because this is obviously a remake. This is a remake of
I
the old movie.
hope. I liked the first Combat. It was campy.
It's good.
It was like kind of hokey, but I liked
Yes.
it. I thought it was fine.
So I think in today's graphic effects, what you can do with Mortal Kombat, like if I don't see a fucking fatality in this movie, I'm not watching.
Well,
Like,
you got to remember that Combat 1, when it came out, they were still trying to cater to a PG-13 crowd because they didn't believe that they could get a high-budget R-rated action movie in the theaters and people would watch it, especially one based off of a video game, and video games appeal to children. I get it, but it wasn't the right decision. Mortal Kombat is, especially in later years, like in the more recent entries from the last, probably like, I'd say
oh my God.
4 or 5 entries into the series, it's all about this over-the-top, ridiculous violence that there's no way anyone could survive even one of those attacks, more or less chaining them together and still getting on to fight. You know, like
just don't get them in the corner.
we always were like, oh man, if you got stabbed in the neck like that from Scorpion's harpoon, you're done. Like, but they just keep fighting. But it went way beyond that in the newer games. Now they have these like X-ray combo jawbreaker moves and stuff, and you're like,
dude,
you'd be dead. You would be dead.
I'm actually going to be picking up Mortal Kombat 11 on the PC.
Oh, you're gonna play on PC?
I'm gonna play it on PC. Buddy, like I said, buddy from work. Him and JT, they play Mortal Kombat and beat the fuck out of each other, and like they're into it. They're into Smash, but they're super into combat, and that's what they do in between matches. They'll start fighting each other. And the one guy said Rambo made, and I watched him beat on this Joker that has over 3,000 games on Joker.
Nice.
And it was the most craziest thing ever. Like watching them fight versus like watching us fight. Like we might as well just not even block when we fight them. Like it was pretty cool to watch, but I'm so excited.
That's one of those games that I'd like to get better at because I do enjoy the series. I've always enjoyed fighting games, but for one, my reflexes just aren't what they used to be. Not that I think that my reflexes were ever really that great, but I mean these guys are on a completely different level. Plus, no lie, other than the Smash community, I think the combat community is one of the most toxic fucking communities in all of gaming. Like, there's a lot of these like competitive gaming communities are terribly toxic, and they make it unfun to even want to be associated with them. Like, the reason I'm not hardcore into Smash is because of the gaming community. They're terrible.
My buddy tried it, and he said because like he was going to these like mini tournaments and stuff like this, and you'd have these guys there. He said the difference between like me and a guy, like, because he's like, if I play the average person, I'm going to stomp him. It's not even going to be close.
Right.
And he's fairly decent. Like he knows the whole like combo breakers, you know, the combos and all that stuff, like actually sits in the practice tool and like tries to do the most damage and flow together all these chain fighting styles and all this stuff. He says these pros walk in and it's not even a fucking competition for him.
No.
And they don't give a fuck. Like they're the most heartless people.
They will trash you. They don't even care.
Yeah, like you beat Jimmy, the 7-year-old like kid in a wheelchair that's here for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and like you just beat him down and like you're talking shit.
They're I mean, ruthless. Talking about you need to get off my game, go home. Yeah. You should sell your copy.
Yeah,
you should trade it into GameStop because you're terrible.
Little Mac made my ass.
So
here, you want the controller? You want to pick my character next game?
I tell you that the other gaming, as far as like fighting games, the community is pretty toxic, but it's not nearly as toxic as like MK. I'd say a Street Fighter.
Oh, Street
But
Fighter and Taken or whatever it is.
but those guys that play Street Fighter, they're on like another level, man. Like I play Street Fighter too, and I'm pretty good. I'm not the best of all time, but I'm pretty good. I could say that I could probably beat most people who are not professional.
Yeah.
I feel very confident about that. And when we got online, we were playing against other people who were not professionals. I realized just how good people are at this game. But I was
Yeah.
still able to beat most of them.
Oh yeah, I mean we had positive win records when we fought.
So, but every now and then you run into a guy that just completely clowns you. I mean, he
Well, yeah.
completely just trashes you and wipes his ass with your face.
Oh, I mean, but that's gaming. I mean, you could be a diamond player. We'll say you're a diamond player. You're like, you're on your way to the champion league out here, and you lose to somebody that's just a fucking scrub because it's just not your day. It happens.
It happens. It happens to all of us.
Speaking of not your day, Cyberpunk 2077 staff, don't get me wrong, these people will be fired for doing this, came out and said that they knew how bad the bugs were before launch and said send it anyway.
You talking about Cyberpunk, right?
Yeah.
Well, there was another rumor circulating that they also said, well, it won't be bad. We made The Witcher 3 what could go wrong. Like you can't just ride off the dick of The Witcher 3, which is one of the greatest games ever. But it had bugs. Like it had bugs. Like it had problems when it came out too, not to this extent.
Yeah, no, it's just funny to watch like this game crash and burn, like this super overhyped. Like if I was Keanu Reeves, I'd be going John Wick mode right now and just starting to kill everybody at the 2077 office for putting them you have the best like hype guy in the world, Keanu Reeves, promoting your game like nobody's business. Like actually looks like he genuinely cares about your game. And then you give this.
My issues with Cyberpunk 2077 because I bought it. I didn't ask for the refund. I kept it because I agree with most of what they've done as a company, and they've made really good decisions. They've made some bad decisions too, obviously, but one of my favorite decisions that they made was when they were releasing The Witcher 3 for the Switch, which, by the way, that's some kind of voodoo magic how they even got that game to run on the Switch. But they could have cut costs on the production of the game and made you download like half the game and store it on your SD card. They could have went with the Switch cartridges that are like 16 gigs and made you download half of it because the game was right around 32 gigs. But no, they actually opted for putting the entire game with all the DLC on the more expensive 32 gig cart, so that way you didn't have to download half of the damn game from the eShop or whatever. So for me, I'm like, bravo, that's a pretty good business practice. They didn't have to do that. They could have went the cheap route like NBA 2K does, where they make you download over half the damn game on the eShop.
No, what they were thinking was, we got all these bugs, maybe we can get this past them. we got to look good.
It's not just the bugs with that game. There is an entire video. One of the guys that I follow quite a bit on YouTube. I don't spend a lot of time on YouTube because I no offense to people who are on YouTube. Most of the people on YouTube are fucking assholes. But I mean, we're on YouTube and we definitely are assholes. But
I wouldn't say we're assholes all the time.
No,
most of the time.
Not. So one of the guys I fight on there, he runs a channel called Beat 'em Ups, and his name's Woodhawker. I think that's his last name. He does a lot of. He's huge now. He has a million subscribers or something like that. He's a huge personality. He's huge. He's had a huge following since the Switch came out, but he was big even before that. But he's really, really just taken off. Regardless, super funny guy, a lot of good content. He has normally he puts these videos up every week or every couple of weeks. He had a whole series about 10 games you may have missed from the eShop, right? And he actually goes out and he'll buy all these little weird independent games and then tell you if they're fun or not. And I've actually bought games based off of his recommendation. Like, that game actually looks like it's fun. Based off of what I heard or saw about the game, I'm like, I'm not giving them $10 for that. But he actually sat and played it, and he's like, it's awesome.
I mean, that's what I use for Twitch. I mean, a lot of times, there's some games, if I'm really on the fence about it, I'll go watch 8 to 9 hours of the gameplay in random times, too. So, maybe when they're at the first little bit, because everybody's first little opinion on the game is going to be like, ooh, ah.
Ooh, it's so shiny and
And
new.
then like when, they're 6 hours deep into the stream and their face goes from like, man, I'm the happiest guy alive to clinically depressed. Like you're like, okay, this is maybe not a good game. Like so you can just get good judgment off of it.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Absolutely.
So funny story today. I was actually, doing some morning gaming. Haven't done some morning gaming in a while. Um, First game on of the day. I joined this game and this guy's like super loud on the mic. He's like, Beer Kush TV. How do you have any recommendation? Like I felt like I was getting stormed by the paparazzi. Like that's how it felt like. Um, he's like, do you have any recommendations on switching from YouTube to Twitch
Just
to
do
like
it.
grow your
It's
to,
really easy. Just stop doing YouTube and go to
what what
Twitch.
what
It's
what
not that hard.
what to grow his audience? And I said, well, what's your audience on YouTube right now? He's like, I have like 1.8K subscribers on YouTube.
Well, why don't you send some of those our way? We'll happily
And
take them off of your hands.
I was like, okay. I mean, if you want to do Twitch, I mean, you obviously seem you're doing okay live streaming on YouTube. Just do the same thing on Twitch. Huda. or
Yeah.
multi. And every time you do a YouTube video,
Just
say
do it on
go
both.
follow my XYZ and channel names. It was just like really funny because like this guy wanted to like team up for like the next 5 games. Like he was super nice, but oh my god, the whole time I'm playing, it feels like I'm playing 20 questions. Like I'm like, I love helping people, I really do. But like I didn't want to talk about Twitch. If I wanted to be on Twitch, I'd been live streaming.
Right? It's like that's your fault though. What did I always tell you about having the .tv at the end of your name or whatever? When you have that association, yep, people will be like, "Hey, this guy's on Twitch," and I can go look at him. But it also makes you susceptible to, "Oh, hey, this guy's on Twitch. I think I'm going to harass him. Hey, I'm going to clown him. Hey, I'm going to
I
make sure
love
that I annihilate this guy and kill him so bad that I can use it on my highlight clips on my own Twitch channel." So
Oh.
it just puts a bullseye on your head.
Yeah. Well,
So WandaVision, did you watch WandaVision yet?
I haven't seen it yet. I saw the commercial. Well, I saw like the premiere trailer, whatever that they had for it. I'm very excited. I'm not really sure what I'm walking into, but that's what I'm gonna love.
I loved it.
I heard it's really good. They got the first 2 episodes out right now.
The thing is there's a lot of people that are hating it right now because when you get off of Endgame and then you go into the Spider-Man, the second Spider-Man movie, Marvel kind of has this thing that when you go into a Marvel thing, you kind of know what you are getting now at this point. You know that there's going to be explosions. You know that there's going to be fist fights. You know that there's going to be chases. There's going to be all the staples in an action thing.
Pack thriller, yeah.
None of that happens. Not one thing. There's not one fist punch. There's not one explosion. I'm not going to spoil it for you.
Yeah.
Because it's bizarre.
Okay.
If you
excited.
look at it just on the surface, you'll hate it. You gotta look.
Okay.
You gotta look at.
Past.
They're building up to something. I don't even know what. I can't even tell you because we don't know. Okay. We all have ideas because we know that they base a lot of their stuff off of existing comic arcs. We all have ideas, but we really don't. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going on. But this homage to the 1950s and 60s sitcom television shows, I will say this, and it's not spoiling anything. Some of the jokes that they put in it, it almost felt wrong to laugh at them. But that's exactly how TV was in the 50s and 60s. Like if you go back and watch episodes of I Love Lucy and Bewitched, Leave It to Beaver, and things like that, like they had these jokes where basically the wife was supposed to sit at home and take care of her husband's every need, right?
Yeah.
That's just the way that society was set up.
Yeah.
It's not right. So that's why I said
you're playing the character. I mean, you're playing the character in that era. Like you have to kind of try to be somewhat realistic about
because it was funny, but it was almost uncomfortable in times. But it was also kind of good to see how far we've come as a society. Now, like that's not the general ideology of people. There are some people that still feel that way and they still think that way.
So many people, everybody works nowadays.
Everybody, you have to work. If you don't work,
you got stay-at-home dads now, and your job is to take care of your woman's every need. Like it's how it works.
It's really good though. I'm glad that they put
Oh,
out the 2
I'm
episodes instead of
excited.
just one. I feel that one would have made me less interested to keep what was going because the
Well,
first episode was it's weird. You don't really know what to expect, and you're like, what's going on? But then you get to the end, you're like, okay, I want to see what's going to happen now.
there's
I
an
love
empty
it.
void in my heart ever since Mandalorian ended, and so I mean, I'm not going to jump into that because I can talk to that for about an hour.
We
But
love the Mandalorian.
yeah, and like I said, I need a show to watch. Hell's Kitchen, new season of that started up, and I love Hell's Kitchen, so I started watching that last
Everything
night.
got pushed back because of COVID, and
Yeah.
Black Widow was supposed to come out last year and didn't. The
Hmm.
Eternals was supposed to come out, I think, last year and it didn't. So they're pushing everything back, and it looks like this is a really good start to Phase 4 of the Marvel stuff. And again, we're huge Marvel fans here on the show, as I'm sure a lot of you guys out there are too. It's going to be a pretty good year, I think, for Marvel just from the stuff that they
Yeah.
have coming up. So you've got WandaVision. It's only going to be 9 episodes. The
Yeah.
episodes right now are only like 30-ish minutes, which when you watch the show, you'll understand why they're only like 30-ish minutes.
Hmm.
It makes sense for like kind of the overall feel of what they're trying to go for. But me personally, I would have rather been more like Mandalorian, like give me 45 minutes of show and I would have been pretty happy with that. But it's okay. Like, so 9
Yeah.
episodes. Then in February, there's like nothing going on Marvel. Uh, Falcon and the Winter Soldier comes out in March. I think the next thing we get coming out is in May.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about things that have been postponed? Because I have a status update for you.
What's up?
My package that I've been waiting since September.
You still
for.
haven't gotten this package?
No.
Wow.
But I finally got an update.
I think I'd be angry.
So I was sitting there and I'm like, you know what? This is fucking bullshit. I had some downtime at work. And I was like, I'm gonna email. I'm gonna ask them where the hell's my package, or can I get some kind of status on when I'm gonna get this? The person emails me back and says, and I quote this. I have the email pulled up. We are sorry for your delay. Your package has been here since insert date.
It's been in their facility?
It's been in their facility. We've been waiting for bigger chunks before we do a mass shipment.
Why couldn't they just tell you that?
Why are they waiting for a fucking mass shipment? It's my package. It's not okay.
Is this a replacement package?
No.
This is something that you
This
bought,
is
right?
it's already it's been purchased in September. They took the money out of my account as soon as I swiped the card. And they said it's going to be 5 to 6 weeks, September 11th.
So it was not a pre-auth, like, hey, it wasn't like a pre-order.
No. This is paid for. This is done. Done and paid for. Paid it on the credit card, whatever. Like, it's been paid off. And I wanted to email back and I'm like, send the package now. I don't need, just because Billy Bob down the street ordered his package 2 weeks later, I'm not going to wait for his package to get to your facility. So she sends me an email back and says, we'll be sending you a tracking slip in a day. We're going to ship it out right now.
You guys said that you shipped it in September. You guys have been giving me the runaround since September.
So I get a link to a place called PostNL, which is a overseas postal company, essentially. And in the email, it says it will take 4 to 10 business days to get this package. I said, okay.
Wait.
Well,
where is this company at?
The UK, I believe.
Okay.
So I said, okay. Like, I knew, it's overseas. Cool. Like, I get that. I'm fine with this.
Isn't England on lockdown still?
It's not England, I don't think. It might not be the UK. I know it's in Europe. I could be wrong about exactly where it's at. But it doesn't.
I thought. Well, I mean, if
doesn't even matter.
It does matter. If they've been on lockdown, it would be really difficult for them to do anything.
Well, they said they're shipping it out. Like, it's gone. It's going out, and it says this will take around 4 to 10 business days. That was 3 weeks ago.
Why don't you just cancel the order, dude, and get your money back? I don't know why you haven't just done that.
No. Now I want the package. And I fucking hope and I pray that something's wrong with this sumbitch. Because I
So
will
they
not
said
only
it would take 4 to 10 business days 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago.
I'm not real good at math, but that's more than
But
4 to 10 business days.
we're at 15.
That's 3 business
I'm,
weeks.
yeah, so like I said, currently this package, it has a tracker on it. It's actually kind of nice. The item is in transport to your country of destination.
That means it's
I
on
don't
a
even know.
boat. It's on a boat somewhere.
This motherfucker could be floating in the fucking ocean for all I know. And like I said, this is going to be one of those things where I'm not going to get this package till, I'm giving him like
Your package
maybe,
is going to look exactly like the package that I got from the Amazon guy. By
I'm
the
giving
time
him a week.
by the time that it shows up on your doorstep, it's going to look like they played soccer with it. It's going to look all
Like I
crushed
said,
in. The boxes are going to be bent. It's
like I
going to look
said,
like that.
I hope I find a stain on this sumbitch. I hope I find something. Because trust me, I'm going to give him maybe a week. And if this package doesn't say it's in the United States and on my way to my house by the end of next week, I'm calling them. Because guess what? It's already in transit. It's not like they can stop it now.
Yeah, they can recall it.
I'd be like, sorry, keeping it.
Yeah, they absolutely can recall it. Now from overseas, I don't know what the cost and something like that would be. Thanks for the like, Trudy. I don't know what the cost in recalling a package like that from another country would be, but I'm sure it can't be cheap.
But like I said,
Which also makes sense why they were waiting on a larger batch. But they should have let you know that. They should have been like, hey, the second that it was way past the date of the order, like we have all these orders from this date and before, we haven't shipped out their packages yet because we're waiting on another thing. They should have immediately emailed you and been like, guys, we are waiting to where we can actually fill up a container full and ship them all at once. It's going to take longer. At least then you know.
The thing is, I ordered this September 11th, going into it knowing that it's going to take 4 to 6 weeks. They said 4 to 6 weeks to be shipped and at your house. 6 weeks being like one of the max.
That was also before the world of COVID.
No, COVID was around September.
I realized that, but they still probably had the same shipping policies. They never changed them. Their order count probably went down.
That's what it said. It said 4 to 6 weeks due to COVID. So normally they're faster. Like I said, I was fine with waiting because I'm like, you know what? I get it. People are struggling right now, like working half staff, all this stuff.
It kind of doesn't sound like you're understanding to me. At this point, I would have just been like, look, cancel it. I'm going to cancel the order. I want my money back.
I want this stuff. Like the worst part about it is like it's so fucking cool. And I've always I spent 2 weeks looking at eyeballing this thing. Like wanting it.
Well, you spent a lot more time waiting on it to get here, so.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm at the point where I'm like, I hope there's something wrong with it. I hope they spelled my name wrong with it. I hope I get little Timmy's down the streets. Because I swear I'm getting my money back. Because they're supposed to send out a 2021 jersey as soon as their season starts next week. For free to me.
I don't think I'd bank on that.
Do I think I'm gonna get? Do you think I'm gonna get it within 4 to 6 weeks?
I don't think I would bank on that, homie. I think that you are not going to be getting that. But I will say that mail in the United States I can't vouch for other countries right now. I don't have any experience. I live in the United States. I've never lived in another country, so I don't know. I do understand a little bit of how the mail works there, but like November and December was terrible here in the United States for mail. The only shit that came on time was my bills. That shit showed up every time on the same day that it was supposed to. I'm like, hey, look at that. The electric company wants their money again. I mean, no problems. The bills showed up. My packages and stuff, no. So I'm on a subscription box service with the Hunt-A-Killer Corporation. I went all in on it because I kind of like this idea of like mysteries and stuff. I got the Blair Witch story. So far, it's been pretty cool. I've only done like the first box. Well, the second box was supposed to ship at the end of, or like the middle of November. I was like, all right, cool. So I got the shipping notification that it was supposed to ship. I'm like, cool, I'll be doing the second box here pretty soon. That'll be a lot of fun. It shipped supposedly on like the 21st of November. It didn't show up to my house until I had gotten the notification that the third package had already shipped. It didn't show up till like the 27th of December. It was like somewhere in nowhere land for like a month. And I was like, but you told me that it shipped on the
They
21st.
they found that some bitch behind a fucking
How
storage shelf.
how those companies, a lot of times what they do is, since they do mass mail, is much like what that company you're dealing with is they send it all to like another company. I think they send the big shipment through DHL, and then
Yep.
DHL takes all those packages and like sends them to smaller post
Yeah,
offices.
you're over here, you're over here, you're over
So
here. Yeah.
DHL basically was like, nah, we ain't doing that. Like it just never got to the post office. So then when it did, I was like, yay. I don't know about you, but I have so much shit pre-ordered that I have to actually keep a list. So that way, because like I'll have packages show up and go, oh yeah, I did buy that.
What
Like
the
you
hell?
forget about it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't
I'm
blame you.
surprised almost every time that a package shows up and it's not something that I just bought within the last couple of days. I'm like, what's this? And I open it, I go, oh yeah, I did buy that. Yeah, I did. So,
Yeah.
but
Well, that's my rant. My if I talk anymore, my blood will boil.
well, I don't know. I feel like that's probably a good ending point on the show there. I mean, we've been
I'm definitely got some clips there for sure.
yeah. So
It's an hour and 15 minutes.
one more little thing before we go. Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game complete edition
Dude,
came out.
I will get it for Switch and I'll play with you.
Okay, well, regardless, Limited Run Games was doing a. It's actually still open for anybody that wants it. Physical release of the game, because Ubisoft is not. They're not doing a physical release of the game. The fans of the game know that this game got taken off the marketplace like 4 years after it launched. You couldn't re-download it. You couldn't rebuy it. The physical copies were super scarce. So Limited Run came in and said, "Hey, we're gonna do a Limited Run edition of it, which is physical." And they said in the first 3 hours that they put the pre-orders up, 25,000 copies, which doesn't sound like a lot, but for them it's huge. It was the best-selling game that they've ever put out so far. 25,000 copies, I guess, is a lot.
Scott's Pilgrim's really slept on. I mean, it's a sleeper game.
It's
And I think it kind of goes along with like Shovel Knight. Like, if you saw Shovel Knight on the shelf, you're not going to pick it up over some of these
I would
top
have.
well, like top A tier games. But like even Scott Pilgrim was such a great game. I remember playing it with you, and I had a blast. And like I said, the movie's kind of like cheesy, corny movie. It's very cheesy.
It's one of my all-time favorite movies. It
And
ranks right
it's
up
a
there
great
with Star
movie.
Wars.
Like I said, it's a great movie. And like I said, I think the whole franchise of Scott Pilgrim is a sleeper. I don't think people like if you scrolled past Scott Pilgrim and saw the fucking dude with the Jufro, like you'd probably be like, that guy's in Juno, and not care, not even blink an eye. And then you actually watch the movie and it's pretty good.
I think I've seen Scott Pilgrim almost as much as I've seen the original Star Wars movie. I've watched it that many times.
What did I watch? Oh, I always watched it. How I Met Your Mother episode, where he makes his woman love Star Wars.
So, yeah, that's a good one. But I guess it came out in 2010 originally, the movie and stuff. It's based off of the graphic novel, which I have digital copies of, but I've always kind of wanted like a physical edition of the books. And I may end up buying one and paying way too much money for it. But I like the artist. I like the story and the game. I actually beat it the day it came out. And I don't know if you remember when we played it back in the day on Xbox. I don't know that I ever beat it. I may have, but I feel like it took me a really long time to beat it. Well, I figured out some stuff, and the game's really not that hard now. I actually think I could beat it on the hardest difficulty level. I think that would be fun. So, but I want to try and platinum the game, and I'm gonna have to try and to do that. I have to play. I have to play online.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't seem like the platinum's that hard either. It's
so you need a buddy.
I'm gonna need a friend, and if I have to buy it on your system for you, I will buy it. It's only like $15. It's not like it's a $60 game. It's $15.
I was gonna say Scott Pilgrim for $60. That's gonna be a tough choice. That's gonna be a sit down. That's gonna be a sit down.
No, it's $15. And if you don't like that genre of beat 'em ups, I wouldn't even recommend it. But it is fun.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm excited.
But I ended up buying I got the limited edition version of from Limited Run, and the version I bought. This is how much I like Scott Pilgrim, right? So the game costs $14, $15 to buy in the eShop. What do you think I paid for the collector's edition I bought?
$50.
$150.
Stupid.
Yeah, I paid.
I can't even look at you right now.
It's a lot. I paid. It's done. Like the money is gone. It wasn't even a pre-order. My money is. It's out of my bank account.
At least you got your package.
Well, the way that Limited Run works is so when you buy something from them, and Limited Run, by the way, awesome company. If you've never bought anything from them, they say, "Hey, we're gonna sell you this." Then they produce them, and it takes anywhere between 4 and 6 months of production time before you actually get your thing. It usually is worth it in the end because they package them, especially if you buy one of these collector's editions or whatever. Like they put a lot of really cool stuff and a lot of thought into them. If you want to like just have your mind completely blown about values of games, like I didn't even realize this till last year when I started getting into the limited runs. Go look up limited run on eBay. Go look up some of the collector's editions limited run. You're going like, that thing's $800 now? It didn't cost $800 to buy it. It was like a $100 package. And it's not even a game that's like amazing. You're like, I've never even heard of that game. And you probably never would. It's just because it's super rare and it's got a really...
Bob the Builder Saves the City.
They're even,
$1,000.
they're even weirder than that. It's like the one game that I saw in there that was like $800 was a copy of Shadowrun. Like the remake of Shadowrun. I didn't even know that they had a remake. Or not Shadowrun, Shadowgate. I didn't even know they had a remake of Shadowgate. Mm-hmm. That game was awesome when it came out. And I feel like if it was an amazing game, I would have at least heard someone talking about it. Never heard of it. $800 for the collector's edition, though. So what do I know? But anyway.
That's the way to do it.
Congratulations to Scott Pilgrim and the guys at Limited Run. That's awesome. 25,000 in the first 3 hours. That's their most successful game. They said after the first day they had almost 50,000 copies sold. So
that's awesome.
If 25,000 is the most successful they've ever done, and they've already doubled that number, like that's huge for them. Yeah, and it was this weird little game that came out in 2010. So bravo. Scott Pilgrim still has some pull power even 10 years later. So anyway, I think that's it. I think that's all I got.
Yep. Those Two Nerds episode 76 is in the books. I'm Vera Coach.
And I am Nictus from Nictus Plays Games.
And stay nerdy, San Diego.
We're not in San Diego. Or are we?
Maybe in another dimension.
We're out of here. Bye.
Have a good one.